Let me tell you a story about this DX40. I bought this DX40 from a fellow, and he said it was pristine, and he was right. It is pristine. It looks very good on the inside. The cabinet is also very pretty, and it even has the crystal cover. And he did sell it with two crystals. So I paid a pretty good price for it because I thought it was worth it. But now I'm not so sure. So I'm going to ask you for an opinion. I haven't left him feedback yet on eBay. Should I leave him positive feedback, neutral feedback, or negative feedback? And here's the reason. Because when I got it, and I put it in the phone position, it arced. The DX40 puts out fine on phone, as you can see. May even put out more than the power that's indicated, but if you put it into phone, it arcs like crazy. A lot of arcing. And I spent about 3 hours troubleshooting it, and I actually found that there was a cold solder joint in one of the in the speech amplifier tube. It was arcing there, causing quite a bit of arcing in the output. So when I found that, I fixed the cold solder joint. When I told him about that, he gave me a $40 refund, which I thought was, and he gave it to me very quick. And I had made a video of the arcing, but he never looked at the video. That got me a little suspicious. Maybe I'm thinking maybe he already knew that it was there. So I got that all set. Also, when I watched he did a video originally, and when I watched his video, he said that the DX40 put out 100 watts. Well, those of you that know anything about a DX40 know that it doesn't put out 100 watts. Its input power is about 75 watts, and the output power is probably about 50. So I figured that was another mistake. He said that his meter was inaccurate, which obviously something was inaccurate. And he did show the meter reading 100 watts. So that did get me a little bit concerned, but okay. His video showed it being tested on 80 meters, and it did look pretty good. And when I got it here, after I fixed the arcing problem, I tested it on 80 meters, and guess what? It looked pretty good. Then I tried to turn the knob. Which was located right up here, and it was frozen stiff. Would not move. I couldn't get it off at 80 meters. Then I tried to get the knob off, and I couldn't get the knob off. And it was obviously scored on the side. Someone was using a pair of pliers to change bands, because it was pretty well scored. So even now it's hard to get the knob back on. It's still not all the way down. As you can see, this one's much higher than that. So now let me see if I can get this thing off. There, okay. So I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't change bands, but so I took a pair of needle nose and tried to turn it. Wouldn't budge. Took a pair of pliers and tried to turn it. Wouldn't budge. So then I took my trusty vice grips on it, tightened it up, and it did turn. Okay, it did turn. So that allowed me to see if it worked on other bands, and it did work on other bands. I only checked that on 40 meters, but it obviously did work on other bands. So I contacted the seller, and he said he didn't know about that. He never had tested it on any other band. And I asked for more money back. He refused. He offered to give me all of my money back, but the problem was I had to pay shipping back to him if I sent it back, and that would have cost me about $40. So I didn't really want to do that. Yet he did offer all my money back. All I asked him for was another $40 another $40 and we would call it a done deal, that everything would be over. So I went online on the AM forum, and I also went on QRZ, and I asked people what I could do, and I had tried some WD-40, that didn't do anything, and then I tried liquid wrench, and after a day nothing had happened. I'm going to let it sit for another day and give it a chance to penetrate some more and see if anything does happen. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe the buyer or the seller just didn't know any better. You know, some people, they get stuff out of estates and they don't know any better. But then I looked online, and the guy has sold quite a bit of ham equipment. He has over 3,000 positive feedback ratings. So I'm a little hesitant to give him something negative. Maybe he doesn't deserve anything negative or neutral. He did communicate well. So I'm asking you, what should I do as far as his feedback is? I am not sending it back. I'd rather keep it and operate, because I can operate it, and operate it with a vice grips, but I am not sending it back. So the question is, what kind of feedback do I leave him? You tell me, and whatever the predominant opinion is, that's what I'm going to go with.